It's just a video for anyone who's like me struggling for energy, especially during lockdown. A few days where I just got absolutely knackered. So changed a few things. First thing, started having ice baths in the morning. Say ice baths, cold bath. Get some Tupperware night before, fill it with water, chuck those in as the ice bricks, plus some standard. Actually, got one on my back now. Some of these bad boys, chuck those in. Yeah, not for the faint-hearted, but that definitely stopped me aching as much. I don't know how you say this. Banisteriopsis caapi. I'll put a link in the description to this. Actually, one of the components of ayahuasca, but it's not psychoactive on its own. Well, it gives you a bit more energy. It's going to be really good for degenerative brain conditions. There's a couple of studies shows it's good for Parkinson's. So I like having that because it makes me feel like, oh, it's giving me energy and it's quite healthy. This pregnenolone is if you're stressed out or middle-aged, lacking sleep. It's 100 milligrams. I have about 30 milligrams a day of that. It's meant to increase DHEA, progesterone, estrogen, but also mainly testosterone. Have a look into that yourself. Don't mess around with that if unless you've done some research on it. I researched that for ages. Seems to help. I think inflammation can make you feel depressed and anxious, and it's like really inflammation is linked to all kinds of problems, including physical and mental health problems. Lots of EPA from omega-3. This farm EPA is the best one. I think there's a cheaper one's and it's easier. You want about 1,000 milligrams of EPA, I believe. Sometimes with the cheaper fish oil, that's loads of tablets and they repeat on me, but those are pretty cool. So yeah, that's my kind of staples. Cordyceps mushrooms is all right. It might be good for your kidneys as well, but I don't find it makes that much of a difference in terms of my energy. Sulbutiamine is, I'm probably not saying that, sulbutiamine. It's a type of vitamin B1 that's highly absorbed. That's pretty good for energy. That don't do much, but acetylcholine. In terms of choline, it's good for your brain generally. It is linked to some forms of cancer as well, too much choline, so do your own research on it, but that's probably the most alpha GPC, is it choline, or CPC choline is good, but also acetylcholine alike. What else have we got? Beta-alanine or baking soda. Before you exercise is great. I have that after food, otherwise it upsets my stomach. But it makes you ache less. It does give you tingles if you have like 4 grams. You get tingles from it. It's to do with carnosine levels in the muscles. And again, do your own research. As far as I'm aware, it's pretty safe. I used to love using that when I worked on a building site. It just gives you, it's like I've given you a third lung. It gives you more energy. But if you're kind of aching a bit, I have a little bit of it just to prevent the old aches and pains as well. Hordenine is from bitter orange peel. That if I'm really tired, I'll maybe take some of that. Because there was some research in rats and they gave them a mega dose, but it wasn't good for their kidneys, so use that very sparingly. And this stuff's, once you've taken Hordenine, 20 minutes later, if you take this stuff, PEA, the abbreviated to phenylethylamine. I take a tiny amount of that, or it gives me a cracking headache, but that's pretty good as well. In terms of healthy things, though, I wouldn't recommend those unless you're really struggling. Look into adaptogens. Adaptogens are like rhodiola rosea, ginseng, ashwagandha. Have a look at those. They can have some contraindications, like I think ashwagandha can affect your thyroid, but those are generally healthy. I would say that's healthy-ish, but it messes with your hormone levels, so I wouldn't bother with that. Beta-alanine, great before exercise. I'm not sure if it's great for daily use. And the other, Hordenine and this PEA, I wouldn't use that unless you're really struggling as well. I'll just use it occasionally. This stuff apparently is good for your brain, non-toxic. Fish oil, omega-3 is good for you. But yeah, do your own research, but those things that help me. Ice baths, good for you. Reduce inflammation, can help with anxiety a lot. But just gotta be careful. First couple of times you do it, just let someone know, oh, I'm going in an ice bath. in case you faint or something when you try and get out. Yeah, I'm going to go wild swimming the weekend as well. Good thing about doing Wim Hof and wild swimming and being into all outdoorsy stuff is you meet some ace people. So that's a nice side effect of being weird and doing ice baths. Wild swimming's awesome, and you get to meet loads of cool people. Talking rubbish, probably because I've had too much caffeine and too much preg, nenolone. Yeah, have a good day.